Vishesha Shobha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Amaham bhajame bane asar sakle priya priti panti pashanti panti kanti. For spiritual master are the only way by which one can attain the pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is perfection that fulfills all my desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with the transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him, ecstatic prema emanates. By him, ignorance is destroyed. Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade at your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds, and we take shelter at your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Ando Puri Savadani Mate. Ando Puri Ando Muri Sabadana Ate. Jahara Prachare Eva Bhakti
दोस्तों ऐसी आती है बेटा, फिर भी है वो अंडरस्टैंड करे। अगर किसी के सामने नहीं आता बेटा, ये ऑफेंस होते हैं, पता है ना, नाते भी नहीं है।
Krishna Prapti Oja.
Krishna Prapti Oja.
Krishna Prapti Oja.
Guru Bhagavatam Arnatori Homane Asha Charane Vaki Eseyo Amagati Shri Guru Charane Vaki Eseyo Amagati Jai Prashade Pure Sarva Jai Prashade Pure Sarva
Ye prasade pure sarva Sakudana dilo jai janme janme prabhu se
Sakudana dilo jai janme janme prabhu se Vidya janire kakashito Vidya janire kakashito Prema bhaktiya bhaktiya vichare nasajate Prema bhaktiya bhaktiya vichare nasajate Tere jaya hara charito Tere jaya hara charito Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Haravadana Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Haravadana Bandhu Lokana Lokera Shipana Lokana Lokera Shipana Aha Prabhu Kodoya Deho Mari Padakaya Aha Prabhu Kodoya Deho Mari Padakaya
Rebejas Dushukutri Bhuvana Rebejas Dushukutri Bhuvana Srila Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami
Iti namine Krishna Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashtachadesha Dharine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Srivasa Adi Gora Bhakta-vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Srivasa Adi Gora Bhakta-vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Srivasa Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadada Srivasa Adi Gora Bhakta-vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare
I don't like this stuff. Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan, Radhe, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan, Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan, Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Vrindavan, Jai Masunda, Ramayana Iti Bharatari Nandari Jaisu Iti Bharatari Nandari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
ठीक है सर।
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Jai Guru Krishna Jai Guru Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna, Rama, Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Achyuta Hare Krishna, 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 Hare
प्रभुपाद जी की श्री गुरु चरण पद्म भगवती भवतरी आ जाई कृष्ण प्राप्ति होए जहाँ होए गुरु मुख पद्मा चित ते करी आई कन पार न करी हो मने आशा चरणे रति से उत्तम गति प्रसन्न पूरी सर्व आशा चक्षुदान दिल जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित भक्ति जहाँ हुई थी विधान वेद गाए जहाँ रचरी तो गुरु करुणा सिंधु माता जनारा बंधु लोकी जीवाना आहा प्रभु करो दया देव मोरे पति छाया जुग त्रिभुवाना शिला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना जय प्रभुपद प्रभुपदा शिला प्रभुपदा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय नमः भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी चरणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय।
हरे कृष्णा नंदीमुखी माता जी प्लीज म्यूट। हरे कृष्णा नंदीमुखी माता जी प्लीज म्यूट। थैंक यू।
The Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter, and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with greater speed. To that Supreme Lord Damodhara, I offer my humble obeisances.
Yes, second number part. Catch. Okay, you want to give cordless?
Should I read it
No,
now?
cordless, second. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To his Supreme Lord, Sri Dhamodhara, whose belly is bound not with ropes, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances.
Third. Villain.
By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be attained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Balagopal in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this?
O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me.
Victor Prabhu, number 6. Number 6.
O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisance unto you, O Dhamodhara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord. Be pleased upon me, by showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver the poor, ignorant fool, who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes.
Mataji.
I want the yellow harmonia.
Okay, they will get it, whatever you want. We'll get it. Number 7.
No, I can't read. I can't see. No.
What is that one? Okay. I'll go. Number 7. O Lord Damodara, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvara, were delivered from the curse of Narad and made into 2 great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give me your own prema bhakti. I have only longed for this and I have no desire for any kind of liberation. Vishuddha, number 8. Number 8, last.
Number 8. O Lord Damodhara, I first of all offer my obeisance to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisance to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisance to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes.
Shri Dhamodhara Astakam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Go ahead, Mata. You are on the air. Your water is ready already. And I'll give you a garland. When are you getting your glasses? What it is? Too much. Okay. Jaya Gopi Janabala Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from the Srimad Bhagvatam, 10th canto, chapter 47, and today we're looking at verse 15. And because I have a problem seeing, I will only read the Sanskrit and somebody can read the purport. But how come we did 14 yesterday? I did 17, okay, no harm. I thought that was 14. Okay, no harm.
Isn't it 18?
Sanskrit. यादनुचरित लीला कर्णा पीयूष विप्लुत सकृत आदना विदूत द्वंद्व धर्म विनष्टाः सपादि गृहा कुटुम्बं दिनम् उच्छ्रीज दिना बहाव ईय विहंग भिक्षुचर्यं चरन्ति यदनुचरित लीला कर्णा पीयूष विप्लुत सकृत आदना विदूत द्वंद्व धर्मा विनष्टाः सपादि गृहा कुटुम्बं दिनम् उच्छृजातिना बहाव इहा विहंग चरन्ति यदनुचरित लीला कर्णा पीयूष विप्लुत सकृत आदना विदूत द्वंद्व धर्मा विनष्टाः सपादि गृहा कुटुम्बं दिनम् उच्छृजन्ति बहवः ईय विहंग भिक्षुचर्यं चरन्ति
Yad anucharita lilakarna piyusha viprut. Sakrida dhan vibhuta danva dharma vinashtaha. Sapadi griha kutumbam dinam urija dina. Bhava iha vihanga bhikuksha charyam charanti.
Go ahead. The mic.
Yad anucharita lila karna piyusha viprut. Sakrid adana vihuta dvandva dharma vinastaha. Sapadi griha kutumbam dina utsrija dina. Bahava iha vihanga bhikshu charyam charanti.
Yad anucharita lila karna piyusha viprut. Sakrid adana viduta dvandva dharma vinasta. Sapadi griha kutumbam dinam utsriya dina. Bahava iha vihanga bhikshucharya charanti.
Yad Yadanucharita Lila Karna Piyusha Vipruta Sakrid Adana Viduta Dvanda Dharma Vinashtaha Sabadi Griha Kutumbam Dinam Utsriya Dina Bahava Iha Bihanga Bhikshu Kariyam Karanti.
यद अनुचरित लीला कर्णा पीयूष विप्रुत सकृद आदान विधूत द्वंद्व धर्म विनाशता सपादिगृह कुटुंबम दीनम उत्सृज्य दीना बहाव इह विघंत भिक्षुचर्यं चरन्ति
Yad anucharita lila karna piyusha viprut sakrid adana viduta davanva dharma vinastaha sapadi griha kutumbam dinam ustrijya dina Bahava eva vihanga bhikshu charyam charanti. On to Zoom land.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Anyone on Zoom? Lucian Prabhu, would you like to recite?
Okay. Yat Anchurita Lila Karna Piyusha Viprut Sak Adana Viduta Dvandva Adama Vinashtaha Sapadi Griha Kutumbam Dinam Utriyadina Bhava Iha Vihanga Bhikshu Karyam Charanti.
Anyone else would like to recite? Okay, I'll do it. Yad anucharita lila karna piyusha viprut.
Yad anucharita lila karna piyusha viprut.
Sakrat adana vidhuta dvandva dharma vinastha.
Sakrat adana viduta dvandva dharma vinasta.
Sapati griha kutumbam dinam utsrujya dina.
Sapadi griha kutumbam dinam utsrya dina.
Bahava iha vihanga bhikshu charyam charanti.
Bahava iha vihanga bhikshu charanyam charanti.
Good. Thank you. We'll go for the forward synonyms. Yat, whose, Anacharita, constantly performed activities. La, of such pastimes. Karna, for the ears. Piyusha, of the nectar. Viprit, of a drop. Secrete, just once. Adana, by the partaking. Viduta, removed entirely. Dvandva, of duality. Dharmaha,
their propensities. Vinashtaha, ruined. Sapati, immediately. Griha, their homes. Kutumbam, and families. Dina, wretched. Ushrija, rejecting. Dinaha, becoming themselves wretched. Vaha vaha, many persons. Iha, here in Vrindavan. Vyangaha, like birds. Bhikshu, begging. Charyam, the livelihood. Charanti, they pursue. Translation. To hear about the pastimes that Krishna regularly performs is nectar for the ears for those who relish just a single drop of that nectar, even once their dedication to material duality is ruined. Many such persons have suddenly given up their wretched homes and families, and themselves becoming wretched, traveled here to Vrindavan to wander about like birds, begging for their living. To hear about the pastimes that Krishna regularly performs is nectar for the ears. For those who relish just a single drop of that nectar, even once, their dedication to material duality is ruined. Many such persons have suddenly given up their wretched homes and themselves becoming wretched, traveled here to Vrindavan, wander about like birds, begging for their living.
Material duality is based on falsely thinking. This is mine and this is yours, or this is our country and that is yours, or this is my family and that is yours, and so on. In fact, there's one absolute truth in which we all exist and to whom everything belongs. His beauty and pleasure are also absolute and infinite. And if one actually hears about this absolute truth, called Krishna, one's dedication to illusion of mundane duality is spoiled. According to the Acharyas, and certainly in accord with Sanskrit grammar, the last words of the second line of this text may also be divided dharma avinashtaha. Then the entire line becomes part of a single compound, the meaning of which is that hearing about Krishna cleanses one of irreligious duality, and thus is not vanquished avinashta by material illusion. The word dinaha is given, the word dinaha is then given the alternate reading of diraha, meaning that one becomes spiritually sober and thus gives up attachment to fleeting material relationships. The word vihangaha, birds, would in this case refer to swans, the symbol of essential discrimination. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes Rupa Goswami as follows in connection with this verse. I'm not going to read the Sanskrit. When a lover indirectly states with remorse that her beloved is fit to be given up, such speech, uttered like the plaintive crying of a bird, is called abhijalpa. And this is from the Ujjvala Nilamani.
And what was it called? Which jalpa?
Abhi, A-B-H.
Oh yeah, Abhivo.
Abhijalpa.
ज्ञानतिमिरन्दिशं ज्ञानाञ्जनं शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. So I was not focusing on this purport, but it's very interesting because you can see there's many ways of reading these verses. Very, very clever. Because in Sanskrit, you can put two words together that have vowels at the end, and you might end up with three A's, and you can pretend it's two, but not one. So when you have double A, you can invoke negative instead of a positive or inverse. So the play with Sanskrit language is you can say ad nauseum in a sense. So here I didn't make a note of all of the differences, but you can get very, very different meanings, especially about this concept here that is most prominent in this verse is the concept of dvandva. What does dvandva mean again? Duality, exactly. So duality is a very big concept in our sampradaya. Duality and union, or the words that we might use is Veda, duality, or Abeda, union, oneness. So it's a very, you could say, in a sense, it's very much underlying our entire philosophy. So what is simultaneously duality and simultaneous oneness? Can it be understood? What does it say? Achincha, it cannot be understood. Achincha means it's not understandable on a material platform, cannot be apprehended, but it can be apprehended on the spiritual platform. And that is the whole idea. So yesterday I was reading a very nice remark that must have been a devotee, had a Russian name. I don't know who it was, but he's a lecturer at, I think, under the university on the East Coast. Which is the famous university at the East Coast? No, not Canada. Not Canada, America. Yeah, I think it might have, yeah, I think it was Yale actually. And he had written his PhD thesis actually on Shankaracharya and how to understand Shankaracharya's, what do you say, concept of monism, etc. But as he's speaking, because he's obviously a devotee, he brings the conversation also to Orlan, to Gaudiya Vaishnava understanding. And he was mentioning something about Jiva Goswami, who has the concept of, I forget the Sanskrit term, but becoming a learned devotee, a learned bhakta. And he's giving a whole discourse on what it means to be learned. So it's very interesting because, when we say, oh, she is learned or he is learned, it has a certain meaning. So he was explaining that to become, I'll just summarize it in a few words. To become a learned bhakta means that one should be somewhat of a jnani and understand scripture and then be, of course, a complete bhakta by developing the relationship with the divinity. But so sometimes we say, oh, it's bhakti yoga, and we kind of eliminate jnana. But jnana cannot be eliminated. Just like we sit here, we're all here to learn something. It's pure bhakti, but it's not just sentiment. Emotional sentiment is cognition. You can say there's two types of knowledge: cognitive knowledge and affective knowledge. Affective with the A, not affective. So cognitive knowledge means you understand something with your intelligence. And affected knowledge is that you have comprehended it with your emotion. So when we're looking at these verses here, there's two types of intelligence we need to apply. Intelligence of the mind or the brain, if you wish, intelligence, and the intelligence actually of your emotions toward the deity. And that's also a type of an intelligence. It's you have a feeling what mood you're in, what rasa you're in, how you relate to the deity, which is your favorite deity when you look at the altar, if you have any favorites. So our heart is there, our mind is there, and our heart is there. So this itself creates kind of a duality. But again, as Jiva Goswami explained in probably Introduction to Satsandarbha, is that scripture teaches you what is the object that we should be focusing on, or even not focusing on, but what are the objects that we're discussing? What are these objects? And your experience in meditation or samadhi will reveal what is that object. And that object in the empiric realm is very different from the one in Samadhi. Very, very different. So, yet they are the same thing. They are actually the same thing, but it's simultaneously one and different. And anybody who's anytime set in deep meditation, you can understand it. You know, even ordinary, you can look at your hand. Your hand, when you're in meditation, looks like something very different from your hand when you're washing it because you're just in gardening. So there's a very great difference. It's the same thing, but it's like looking at something under a microscope. And I look at the bug that's biting me on the microscope, I become very scared. It looks like a big buffalo, you see? So there's two worlds of reality. One world of reality is with a small r, and the other one is with a big R, the world of reality. So we say the empiric world, where you can analyze elements, and the spiritual world, it's you can say trans-empiric, where you learn about the spiritual world. So here it says, and the gopis are speaking, which is very interesting. She rather suddenly switched gears. 1 minute ago, she's attacking Krishna. You. Now she doesn't even talk about Krishna. She's talking about someone who hears about your pastime can overcome the duality of, you can say, samsara. So then she's completely switching gears. But then in the next verse, she goes back again. She says, well, that's what happened to us. We heard about you when we were children. We've been in love with you since we were children. And then we heard about you. And then we fell in love with you. And then it says in the next verse, just like the innocent wives of black deer, when they hear the sound of the flute of the hunter, go towards the hunter. And what happens? They're killed by the hunter. So that's what you did. But here, she takes two verses, because she's not thinking about the Srimad Bhagvatam published by the BTT into, she's speaking, but it comes to us in that manner. So it's very, very beautiful. So what we can learn then is to overcome dvandva or duality, where we see the material world as separate from the Godhead. That is the whole point. Empiric view means seeing things separately. Or you don't see it separately if you don't realize that you're a spiritual person. When you're a spiritual person and then you look at reality, you can see the connection. And like I point out in many of my talks, that connection is called pantheism. There's a pantheism, throughout the deity, seeing the deity throughout. Or conversely, and I said it ad nauseum, of course, panentheism, where when you look at nature, you actually see in God, you see nature. Or I often say, pantheism is seeing a rose, and seeing God in a rose, looking at a rose, and I see God. And panentheism is seeing a rose in God, or the lotus Krishna's wearing behind his ear, that type of thing. So things are reversed. They're exactly the same thing, but there is a reversal. So the entire, you can say, the reason that we're studying these scriptures so acutely every day is that we who are, somewhat, or mostly, whatever you want to say, under the modes of material nature, can learn to recognize what you are reading about and who is that you who is reading or hearing. That's the whole point. Who are you reading? And the two famous sutras that I mentioned ad nauseum, and we had a blackboard. I used to write it on the class in the corner and write it on the blackboard. Koham and Soham. So, and of course, when you take the Sandhi away, you say Kaha, Aham, and Saha, Aham. Very famous. One of the, what you call the Mahavakyas. So, Kaha, Aham, Kaha means all these words that start with a K, What do they indicate in Sanskrit? Ka, 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 kaha, kyam. They're all questions. Yeah, that's the whole point. They're all questions. Very nice. In the Sanskrit alphabet, all the questions start with the first letter of the, what do you call those letters? No, not consonants. Yeah, they start all with consonants. When I see consonants, it's written with a C, but it should really be written with a K. So they're all consonants. So when you ask a question, it starts with the first letter of the Sanskrit alphabet in terms of consonants. And that is natural. You say, right here, kya hua? What does kya hua mean? What happened, you know? And kya baat, or whatever you want to say in Hindi. But the same goes for Sanskrit. So starting with the sound that comes immediately to your lips. Now in English, it starts all with W, where, what, when, or how. You see, not as powerful. Can you see it? But when is not very powerful. What do you say in Hindi, when? Kab. Very powerful. Kab. Very different from when. Can you see it? So the questions that are asked then are very beautifully resolved. And here Radha is saying how, you know, everybody becomes attracted by hearing your story. Your Leela is so great. And then those who come towards you like innocent wives of the black deer, you are like a hunter. You're a hunter, you kill us. So of course, there's many ways of understanding that, you know, if you use the word kill, quote unquote, what does Krishna kill when we come towards him? Don't talk about Kurukshetra. What does he kill? Yeah, we say he kills the ahankar, you know, which is the finest element in Sankhya. The last element is ahankar, you know, be going from earth all the way up to manas, the intelligence, go to the buddhi, and then we go to ahankar. Ahankar is the finest element. So but it's still a material element. It's called shukshma. It's a sukshma element. So when the sukshma element meets with the actual element, you go from you say sattva, goodness, the highest point of sattva, to the highest point of Shuddha sattva. They meet. They're like cousins. It's not brothers and sisters, not you, but it's very close. So you move from the ahankar to aham. And that is the whole idea of the Mahavakya, what I'm saying. Kaham, koham, soham, he and I. So, aham, he and I. So here she says that duality of who am I is given up and there is union. So this, like I said, very controversial issue always in ISKCON and the way it was written in, or you can say in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and the way it was dealt with in the purport was very fine. I couldn't remember all of the things, but it was distinguishing between material dualism and spiritual dualism. And generally, we don't talk about spiritual dualism. Dualism is often considered one, but it is in the spiritual realm. The dualism is that you feel you are part of the Godhead. It is the one with variety. Then we become that variety of the one. You can say the many. But in the material world, that it's mostly the many. It's the man. Start with the many. It's already confusing. And then to see the one is very difficult. So I've pointed out many times that in Western philosophy, the main philosophical issue is the one and the many. That is the main theme, because it's the most difficult to these glasses are so funny. When I move quickly, I think there's a match somewhere. Not funny, or something dark, but it's probably that phone lying on the ground that moves, moves in a weird way. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the one and the many. So because it's mostly many, and to see the one is very difficult. The minute you begin to see the one, you're actually moving to transcendence. Do you see it? When you see the one, and the one is always written with a capital O, and that one, where do we find that one? We find that one, like Koham, who am I? And Soham, I am his, or him and I, or him, her, and it, and I, and we. Uh, uh, the point is that it is resolved in a way that is actually facilitated by the super soul. The super soul is, you can say, the bridge between, you can say, between Brahman, beautiful realization of the Godhead, and then super soul, where you have a personal relationship with the Godhead, and then Bhagavan, where it's lila with the Godhead. But these are very much one. And again, as I was reading some of the notes on Jiva Goswami, very important to understand that they are one, not, don't put it in three completely separate categories. It's just one way of explaining. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Krishna's two, what does it say? Okay, and Krishna is that Bhagavan. So that includes all three, and we should not neglect to emphasize that, not diminish it. Like, how do you know Krishna? Like we often discuss, how did you come to Krishna consciousness? People say, oh, I read the book. But what does that mean? So many people read the book, they didn't come to Krishna consciousness. What is the difference between reading the book or reading a paragraph or whatever? I'll tell you in 1 minute what I first read. What is the difference? The difference is inspiration. If Super Soul doesn't inspire you, then I told you many times what I did with my first Gita, right? What did I do with it? The deep. No, but the Gita is very dramatic. It was not Prabhupada's Gita. No, much better. No, much better. It was a Penguin edition. You know, it was somewhere in the late 60s. The Penguin edition. I was on Long Beach, not California, but here. And I had that book. I was there for a weekend. I thought, let me read the Gita. And then I read it and I thought, I like some of the teachings, but I can't tolerate the setting. So, you know, the tide comes in all twice a day. The tide comes in. We were staying right on the beach. I put it on the log. I knew the tide would reach. I put it on the log. I said, didn't say Radhe Radhe, but I said, you know, namaste. And I said, let the tide take it. And the tide took it because I did not like that violence. You have to kill 3 million people because so many don't even say, so many don't listen to the figure. So many because some girls were smiling when that person came to visit them in the garden and he couldn't tell land from water and he slipped into the water and they laughed. That was the provocation for this war. Yes, and Draupadi, of course, also. But the two women were insulted, you know, one woman was insulted and the other women were insulting, so to speak, quote unquote. And then they're killing so many people. Of course, Najayate, Mriyate, Vakadachin, nobody's ever killed. So this is all very, it takes deep thought to try and understand it, both intellectually, as I said, but when you do your meditation, especially if you do your mala, then you get realization that leads you to a higher platform. And these dualities that are very unpleasant, birth, death, old age, and disease, are destroyed. They're actually destroyed. I like that verse from the Gita, but it should say, Shitoshna Sukha Dukha Va Agama Payamani Chastams Titikshashva Bharata. So what does Sita Ushna mean? What does Sita mean? Cold. Yeah, and Ushna means hot. So Shitoshna Sukha Dukha. So these dualities of material life will no longer touch us. But it doesn't mean that these dualities are not there. Just like if I think I have some kind of realization, I walk to the temple, I feel very cold. But rather than complaining, we laugh about it. Krishna makes all these seasons. Krishna is the Ritu. Krishna is Ritu. Ritu means season. The word rhythm comes from Ritu. So Krishna himself is the person that makes all the seasons come and go. So here the gopis danced for a minute. When I heard the first verse, I thought it was Uddhav talking. It didn't sound like the gopis at all because she's preaching. Wow, everybody hears Krishna is attracted to Krishna. Then she turns the table around and says, yeah, but Krishna is just a hunter and a killer. So we're back to our story, and we can understand that on the higher level, we can have emotions that are exactly similar than on the lower level, but they're to be understood very differently. So that's it. I have to call. Anybody has any remarks, please? Yes. Om Tat Sat. Maybe be satisfied by that. Go ahead.
So we have a similar experience, but at the same time it's described like a reflection or something that is opposite.
Exactly, a reflection or a cause.
Is that where this Achinta resides? How it is at the same time the same, but at the same time opposite?
Exactly, it is the same. Because when you're reading, I've pointed out many times, if you just listen to some of these talks and you put it in a Bollywood movie, it is pure Bollywood. It's pure Bollywood. It's not like, wow, you don't even think this is Shakespeare. It's a very common, ordinary language that we all can identify with. And that is the point. If we couldn't identify with it, we wouldn't be listening to it. But we're still, because it sounds just like me. I feel like this. So it's brought together. What did you say? What did you say?
What is the inconceivable part?
Inconceivable. The inconceivable is a completely different thing. Like to have an iron ball in your hand in samsara is not the same as having an iron ball in your hand in Dhamodhara. It's completely different. It's inconceivably different. And yet it's the same. It's a joke. That's why Hashiras is so important. The mood of laughter is most important. If you don't laugh, you'll never get it, right, Peter? It's like drama. We're watching the drama. Why do the children are crying when they watch a drama? Why is this a drama? It's fake. But the emotions are aroused. Properly aroused. So when the proper emotions are aroused, then it becomes real. How can we cry when we see some movie? Beautiful. Because the heart is touched. So when the heart is touched, you don't need any reason. Why, how, you don't have to go to a psychiatrist and say I was crying when I saw, Macbeth. No, it's already there. That's our real nature. So while we play with each other here, analyze your relationships and see how beautiful they are. They're all full of humor. You're just learning whether your wife is a little bit bitter or whether she's, everything has its purpose, or whether your wife is not with you. Everything is a play for us to rise to a higher platform. So beautiful. So nothing, just like I can not see very well. So then I think, oh, this is very beautiful. Now I can still see beautifully, but what about these poor people that are blind? You know, I lived in Vrindavan. I've been going to Vrindavan for, 40, 50 years. So many blind people, people with one leg. People are hungry. And still they're pleasant and laughing, even though they're blind. And we are complaining when our vision goes down 37%. So we should be tolerant. That's why it says, Sitoshna Sukha Dukkada Agama Paimani Chas Tams Titiksha Sva Bharata. What does Titiksha mean? Tolerate. So we have to tolerate misery. When we tolerate misery, it becomes a source of laughter, actually. And tolerate good things. Yeah, when you win the lottery, it's very bad because almost all families have a collapse. The family collapses when you win the lottery. Better to lose and never to gamble again, She's laughing. Beautiful. So if you gamble, we gamble for Krishna consciousness. Say, Krishna, whether I reach Golok Vrindavan or not, I'm here now. So, any other questions or remarks? Yes.
The differentiation.
Yes.
And like my parents, we were raised in a kind of a cult, weird thing of in a cult, but we went to
Type of a cult.
New Age Theosophist stuff.
Yeah.
And so we were taught that we're God. We just forgot. When we leave our body, we'll wake up and realize we were God. And I was like, what kind of God is that forgets? And so, but then way later, like actually reading Jaiva Dharma, I was like, oh, you can't say can't about God. You can't say God can't forget. There's nothing you can never say
God cannot do.
There's nothing God cannot do. And so in a sense, we, the little jivas, are God the smallest.
Exactly.
God is the extreme of everything. So we, God the smallest.
Exactly.
God that can be covered over, the God that can forget. So,
beautiful.
The oneness is there with the differentiation.
Actually, Prabhupada says in one place, he says, you're all Krishna. He does say it once or twice. He says, we are all Krishna. Because we're part and parcel of Krishna. If you're like a drop of water in the ocean, you cannot say, I'm not water. I am water. So the substance is one, but the minuteness or the size, the quality is one, but the quantity is different. Isn't that beautiful? And yet, the best news about quantity, which one is it? Which verse? Om Purnamada Purnamidam. That's also, there's no such sense actually as quantity. Everything is full. And some you take away from the full is still full. What you take away is also full. And like my quote, in the mathematics of God, there are percentages beyond 100. So there's nothing wrong anywhere. Sub good. Or I say sub good, sub God. Om Tat Sat. Maybe. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Krishna, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for the beautiful class. I wanted to actually, if I heard you correctly, there was a mention of that some people, if everyone picks up the book to read,
yes,
they some come to the temple, not all, and it's because the super soul influences and empowers us. Then my question is, why is not everyone who is picking that spiritual book empowered?
Well, because it depends on the level you're at. Just like somebody who's not musical, you say, what key am I playing in? They haven't got a clue. But if somebody who's trained with a trained ear, they tell you it's E major. You see? So depends on your level. We're all on so many different levels. It might take another few lifetimes for this person to find a book again, a granddaughter's library, and there it is.
So can we say that this, super soul is empowering, but based on where we are at?
Well, but the thing is, you may not be aware of the super soul. Not everybody's aware of the divinity within you. Many people have no idea of a divinity. You know, it's mostly their ego that is speaking, not the Thakur or the deity. The atheist denies it. What do you call the other one? Semi-atheist, what are they called? The agnostic, he says, I don't know. And the seer says, I know. So we're all on different levels. Very beautiful. The variety is the spice of life, and also the spice of death. Beautiful variety.
Anybody in the Zoom line? How come spice variety is spice of death?
No, because everybody dies in a different way. Some die in a car accident, in horror. In 1 minute they're dead. Some people die a slow death over 3 years. Some people commit suicide, and some people like what is her name? Sati. What does Sati do? Nothing but variety. Read your Bhagavatam. You're finding nothing but variety. Birth, different varieties in birth, different varieties in death. But birth is difficult to control, comes from karma that's there. But death, you can prepare. I want to die in a happy mood. I want everybody to be singing and dancing and tossing flowers. That's it.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What did you say?
It's good to chant.
That's the point. So, yes. What do you think?
So, Mother Jamuna, so Mother Radhika was saying how different people leave their bodies. So devotees were very fortunate, of course. So Mother Jamuna, we all know Mother Jamuna, huh? Great
Yeah.
devotee, dear daughter of Srila Prabhupada. Wonderful, and luckily for us up in the valley, she was living there many years. So when she was realizing that she was leaving her body, she was in Florida. She asked the other devotees to help her bathe. She put on a fresh, clean, ironed sari. She put on beautiful tilak, and she laid down and she chanted Hare Krishna, and she left her body.
Perfect. See?
That's something.
It's inspirational, but we've heard of many devotees who live in that type of mood. So, but unless our life is somewhat like death, like that, or death will not be like that. We have to practice. Exactly. So the point is, Anandamaya Abhyasat means practice your bliss. You practice your bliss now, and you practice your bliss at the time of death, and you'll be successful. Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay. Let's chant 3 times the Mahamantra for the benefit of all the living entities in the world. Have a little prayer for all of you. The flower of Guru Puja. May Srila Prabhupada bless all of us. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. May the Lord Shiv and Prabhupada bless us, so we can fit and fine and serve them and build a wonderful temple here. A wonderful day. Hare Krishna.